Hey everybody, do you remember going into an online game like RuneScape or Animal Crossing? Nights filled with doing quests, reaching different self-guided goals, fishing, and occasionally interacting with other people in one way or another as you each went on your own respective journeys? It was always pretty fun when I played those games, I'm sure it still is, but what if I told you that there was one game that trimmed all the fat and left only the best aspects of any online game like that? Obviously I'm talking about the fishing and chatting aspect. What more do you really need? I am joking a little bit, but that's basically what Webfishing is. It's an awesome game that I played recently with a simple but addicting core, so let's talk about it. Originally developed in 2022 as part of a game jam by Lame Developer, who had made a few other games on itch.io in the past, Webfishing officially came out on Steam a couple of months ago. I first saw it kind of blow up a little bit online with everyone seemingly playing it overnight on YouTube and Twitch. It seemed interesting, but not really my cup of tea. At its core, it looked like a smaller version of Animal Crossing with less to do and a larger social aspect, which I mean is, but that's not really fair to say after playing. Regardless, I figured I'd skip it. That was until I saw that it was only like $5 at full price. At that price, it had to be at least worth a shot if only to see what all the buzz was about, so I tried it. And this game really caught me off guard, if I'm being honest. I knew it was pretty popular when I decided to give it a shot, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. It didn't click for me right away when I decided to stream it, but as I played it on my own, something changed. It was pretty clear that this is a good game that some people would like, but I'm not normally the demographic for something like this. Let me try to explain what I mean. Normally, when I pick up a game, I'm looking for something story-rich first and foremost, something with some colorful characters, lots of nooks and crannies to explore, and people to learn about along the way. A detailed place that I can spend hours in with hours wasted shifting through lore and online theories. What can I say? I love to watch people yap and get invested in the lore of the world. Webfishing doesn't really have anything like that. Another thing I look for in a game that is anything that focuses on a single player experience first and foremost. That's not to say that I exclusively play by myself. I grew up playing RuneScape and Minecraft, and those games have thriving online communities, but I definitely don't gravitate towards or ever really seek out games where I have to interact with others. I don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with why I played as a kid, or maybe I hate talking to strangers. Who knows? Whatever it is, this would usually not be the game for me, if I had taken it at its face. But Webfishing is so much more than that, and how I had initially expected it to be. It might not be a game that I would typically seek out, but it makes up for those things by improving the experience it does provide. The thing that I would normally miss doesn't seem like such a loss being absent from this game, and the things I would normally avoid are now a fun addition to a silly game that allows me to turn my mind off for a bit. One of my first criticisms would normally have been that this game is not story rich in any way, and there isn't really any driving narrative as far as I can tell. And like I said earlier, that's a huge thing that I'm into. Now, that's not bad per se. Minecraft and City Skylines don't really have stories either, but they're great. But that's not usually what I'm looking for. So that could have been a con in Webfishing's favor if I were reviewing it like a normal game that I play. However, like Minecraft and City Skylines, Webfishing fills that void with something else. The only difference is where those games like Minecraft and City Skylines fill that void with a sandbox, Webfishing fills it with a community and a very chill atmosphere. There's no deep mystery to dig into or plot to uncover, but there is this person who let me know that he's trying to hit me up with a fishing lure. There is this person who I can congratulate when they level up. The stakes may be non-existent, but it still feels fulfilling to play the game around these strangers. There's no pressure as we sail past each other on the internet, exchanging kind words before I log out for the day, and most likely never see them again. In that way, it's a lot like meeting someone on the subway, or in line at a coffee shop. You might say nothing to them as you both go about your day, or you might exchange a little bit of small talk and soon be forgotten by one another forever. Whatever you decide to do, there's no real negative to the experience. You're both still fishing. This is a unique online social experience that I didn't realize I had missed or forgotten about. The other key thing about Webfishing, sort of related to the last point that I would usually criticize, is the fact that this game focused too much on the multiplayer experience, but I think I've made it pretty clear that that isn't really true in Webfishing's case. Sure, there are other people here, but they don't take away from the core experience in any way, which is usually my problem with multiplayer games. You can play in empty lobbies if you want, but the main experience doesn't change. Catch the same fish, walk the same island. This game has been described by the dev as a chat room focused fishing game, and I think it really works without making it overpowering at all. It really feels like a parallel play situation, making it a lot more approachable for me and other people who wouldn't usually play online, I'm sure. I'm sure there are servers somewhere where this online chat room aspect can be annoying or detrimental in some way, but I never found any. And I think that says a lot, because even if there are bad servers, there's so many that are just great and very chill that it doesn't really matter. You can always just turn the chat off and just fish with strangers anyway. No one can hurt you in this game. At the end of the day, this is an island for fishing, and you can do that near the group or as part of the group. There's no right way to interact with these strangers that affects the game in any way, and that's what makes it work for me personally. Webfishing isn't the only sort of game like this, one that has a more casual social aspect, but it was the first one that I was able to connect with so easily. There are no commitments. I always connected to random servers and never had a bad experience with the people on them. Now obviously that is just my own experience, but even if people are annoying or rude, you can always ignore the chat. You can always go to another server because there's only one map, or you can stay there and fish your heart away. It doesn't really matter. The social aspect is so great because there's no gameplay incentives, so you can interact as much or as little as you want. People just want to fish for the most part, and that makes for a very chill atmosphere. So to wrap up the short review, this game was a total surprise. Once I was able to wrap my head around the simplicity of it and focus on just hanging out instead of grinding some expansive world, I had a lot of fun with it. Will this be a game that I play for the rest of my life? No, almost definitely not. Once I get all the achievements, there's a good chance I will never play this game again. Would I be mad if some sort of story was added? Of course not, especially if it was done well. The few NPCs in the game look like they could have interesting stories to tell if given a voice. But that's kind of the beauty of it all. This game doesn't need to have a story. I don't need to play it forever. Much like my interactions with the players in it, it's okay if it's a fleeting experience that exists in this time only. It's okay to look back on a game fondly instead of wishing for more from it. For the price of $5, this game gave me way more than I was expecting of it. If you've played this game, feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments, or if you can think of any other games like this, I'd love to hear about those too. And also, thank you so much for watching if you stuck around, and thank you all for 500 subscribers. Have a great day, and I'll see you all again soon with a video very shortly.